What up, gamers? Fencer here, and welcome to my first impressions of Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, the sequel to the original Shadowverse. Now, before we get started, I want to introduce myself because I thought it might be important to note when it comes to how I approach and consume this game, where it might be different for you guys on what you play the game for. And to sum it up, I'm more of a casual player in Shadowverse rather than a competitive player. Like, I didn't often play PvP back in the first game, just only whenever I'd live stream the game. Instead, I just play through the single player aspects for the most part. Like on my channel right now, I do have a full playthrough of the story mode of the first game, which is way more time spent there compared to my time in multiplayer. And I have also played through Shadowverse Champions Battle on the Nintendo Switch, which is my favorite way of experiencing Shadowverse due to its single player content. And finally, I like to make thematic decks rather than the meta decks or whatever the top tier decks are. So, yeah, pretty much, I just like the game because, as the main protagonist of the Shadowverse anime would say, Shadowverse is fun. As for Worlds Beyond, I would say that Shadowverse is way more fun there, or at least I can see the potential of it being way better than the first game. To start, let's talk about the gameplay here, where if you don't know, or maybe you're new to Shadowverse but you have played other similar digital card games like Hearthstone, Legends of Runeterra, or the Elder Scrolls Legends, just take the fundamental card game aspects of those games, like the player's health, the card's attack and health, and your resource points that gets incremented every time it's your turn. Just take all of that and imagine that with anime and waifus. But there's also dudes here too. There's also husbandos if you like those too. We got a Galen over here who loves Kung Fu, and he will definitely let you know about that. But what makes the Shadowverse game stand out is the evolution mechanic, where you can see over here this yellow circle. That is how you can evolve your cards, which gives it to attack and health, but also it can make your card attack the other cards on this side here immediately without having to wait. But a new mechanic to this game here, specifically with Worlds Beyond, is this purple one over here, and that is the super evolution, where instead of giving the card over here 2 attack and 2 health, you give it 3 attack and 3 health. But also, when you attack, because normally in these card games you would receive damage back, when you attack you don't take any damage, and also depending on the card you might get some bonus effects here. So like, for example, this Mecha Cavalier over here, you can see that when you normally evolve him, you summon 1 Mecha Cavalier, so 1 copy of itself. But if you super evolve it, you can summon 2 instead, which is way more powerful. And you would do this by dragging the super evolution orb over here to your card and play out this awesome animation. And there you go. And you can see that is what it looks like when you super evolve. And when you normally evolve, it would look like this card over here. I did evolve with this follower here. But yeah, when you attack, just imagine this card over here, even though it has 0 attack, just imagine it has like maybe at least 1 attack. But yeah, when I attack, it should pretty much deal no damage back to me. And while super evolve, when you destroy a card over here, it does deal 1 damage to the opponent's health. So yeah, that is Shadowverse. You just pretty much go back and forth at each other's health until one of those health reaches 0, and that player will be the loser while the other will be the winner. And right now, we are in a different match where I am starting at turn 4 just in the interest of time, and to also show off the evolve mechanics, because that is around when you can evolve your followers. As for super evolve, you gotta wait around like maybe turn 6 or 7. I forgot exactly what it was. But yeah, let's go play through the entire match here, showing off the new stuff in this game, which one of them is this additional mechanic for the player that went second. This is not available for the player that went first, but for the players that went second here, you do get to use an additional play point, and it does refresh around turn 6. So that is what I'll do right now. So I'm going to activate this. So normally in this turn, I would have 4 play points, but because I can't do this, I can make it +1 and make it 5, which is enough for me to play this amulet, which is like a card like this, but without the attack and health, and also it can't be attack. It's got to be destroyed through other means. But yeah, that's what I want to do, because with this card over here, the Ancient Cannon, whenever you fuse, which means combining 2 or more cards, you deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. So with this over here, like the Gear of Ambition, you can press fuse, and we can fuse it with the Gear of Remembrance. There we go. That guy gets destroyed. And let me go and do another one over here with the Gear of Remembrance first. And I'll combine it with that. Destroy you. Nice. Alright. And then, yeah, I'd rather not evolve you. If I do evolve this, I can deal 3 damage to the enemy, but I'd just rather save this evolution for something else. There we go. End my turn. But yeah, this whole fusing mechanic, it's only available to the Portalcraft cards over here, which is one of the 7 classes in this game. But yeah, the Portalcraft is my favorite because it has robots and all that stuff. The enemy right now is Dragoncraft, where they have a bunch of dragons. And I guess Dragonutes, which are the humanoid dragons. So yeah, they decide to evolve Lo Feng over there. Let's go ahead and deal with that card. So yeah, we got our Mecha Cavalier again, if you want to use that. Instead, I want to use a spell card. Probably, if I can make that work out. I mean, I only have this card here. You know what? Yeah, let's go use it for example. So we'll play that. This will allow us to play a copy of the artifact cards over here, up to 2 of them. So Striker and Fortifier. So I'll select you and you.
Follow me.
The Striker here has a rush effect where it can attack already at the enemy cards, even though normally they won't be able to attack, like this one over here. But yeah, we can attack right away. In my turn. Alright. What's up, bro? He draws cards, restores health because he's an overflow. And overflow effects only in Dragoncraft, where if they have a maximum of 7 or more play points, they can trigger additional effects. Okay, so let's go and do... Oh, this one is a good one too, as well. Where if you evolve it, you can just select the artifact follower in my hand and just summon a copy of it. I mean, this one here is good too, I would say. But yeah, I think for now, I mean, yeah, we can go for this actually. Maybe it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
This world lacks inspiration.
And then, yeah, I'll just go ahead and evolve. Let's go and select you.
Trajectory calculated.
Nice.
Possibility.
Then we'll attack with this follower. But yeah, the cards here, they're called followers. And then maybe I can just use this extra play points here to summon you.
I'm armed for a freaking circus.
Then yeah, I guess because my hand is kind of full, you can have up to 9 cards in your hand. If you draw any more, it'll just get destroyed. Let me go ahead and fuse my Striker with my Fortifier here. There we go. That way we can draw 1 card. End my turn. And now they can super evolve. Oh, they have a dragon. Yeah, now they have 10 play points while I have 6. In Dragoncraft, they have special cards where they can increase the maximum amount. So you can play higher cards faster in the early turns. Okay, so yeah, right now it does not look good for me. They got some pretty scary cards here. In this dragon, they got Intimidate, that keyword, and we can't attack it. We can only attack it through special effects and stuff. But right now I don't have that. Maybe discard? Oh yeah, maybe I can make use of this if I can. Use a combination of Stream of Life plus this, but I want to summon a copy of it. I mean, I can also maybe make this work, but I need to have 2 artifact cards in my hand. Okay, maybe I can do this. So I'll select you. And I'll damage you.
Don't move.
Let me go ahead and fuse this card with this. I can even take them out by fusing a bunch if I feel like it. Then yeah, let me go ahead and I guess, you know what, let's go play it again. We'll go fuse it with these 2 cards over here. I'll give us that card. Perfect, okay. So then I can play this here. Summon these 2.
Follow me.
So yeah, depending on like how you fuse your cards, you do get different effects. So with this ominous artifact Gamma, at the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemy followers, which is pretty much perfect for these guys. They'll go down once I end my turn. And then this ominous artifact Beta, at the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to the enemy leader, which is nice. But yeah, I'll go ahead and end my turn here. End my turn. Nice. And yeah, one cool thing too, so right now, we are in a practice match. And one feature I like as a, you know, I guess a single player type person. Ooh, they got forts. They can attack immediately at my health. But yeah, one feature I like is that you can also face against your own decks. So right now, you can see the enemy, those are his cards, but those are the sleeves I gave for this deck here, the Rhinoceroach. But yeah, I thought that was so cool. Because I love, you know, making thematic decks, like I said at the beginning. And now I can, like, make my own decks and face against them. I love that a lot. Anyways, how the heck do we deal with this? I mean, I feel like I want to do the same thing. It's the only way I can maybe damage back. Or I can play the Mecha Cavalier. So that, because it has ward, they can't attack directly at my guy. And also I can super evolve it, which might help out a lot. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Mecha Cavalier. Yeah, right now we're not doing so good.
This might hurt.
We have the lower health. In this game they call the health defense, by the way. Which I'll be referring it to now, from now on. I'll attack you. And now I'll end my turn. So right now we have a big defense, but they might have some cards where they can destroy it. I mean, I know this deck, it does have some cards where they might just wipe out the entire thing here. If they have like the Twilight Dragon, then it's pretty much... yeah, I'm screwed. We'll see. Oh, I knew it! Twilight Dragon! I called it. I know my own deck because I made it. But yeah, I love that feature, man. I can't wait to like make decks of my own. Like a bunch of them and just face against them. Yeah, so how do we deal with this, man? I made myself too powerful with the enemy here. No, yeah, I think we just pretty much lost here. I don't think I can win. I can always try my best, though. You never know. Get you and you.
Follow me.
So yeah, we can maybe evolve you if we want.
This burden is mine.
Oh, you know what we can do? We can evolve you.
I don't miss.
There we go.
Hope is the greatest weapon we can pass on.
And then we can have you attack this. Then yeah, I can guarantee that I can just lay down the Twilight Dragon if I want.
Follow my lead.
And then my Gamma artifact will take care of Fort over here. And yeah, I can't attack Fort because she has Intimidate in my turn.
I'll remember you.
Oh my gosh, okay. We're done.
I won't
That guy has
give up.
Storm, which means he can attack directly at my leader. Yeah, so that's Shadowverse. That's how a normal game is done, for the most part. And so that is the gameplay of Shadowverse, and I gotta say, my first impressions of it is that it's just way smoother, way more flashier, better with the visuals, and you know, better with the gameplay as well. I love the new cards. I love all the new animations and all that stuff. The Super Evolution mechanic, man, and just the amount of times you can evolve per match, man. Like a total of at least 4 per match. Like I just love evolving in general. Like it's pretty much I would say the equivalent of like doing your special summons in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it always feels satisfying to do that. And that's how I feel like in this game where you can just be so cool on evolving your units and activating special effects and doing some cool finishers and all that stuff. But yeah, and also, each turn is also very fast paced, going back and forth. The matches, they last for not too long. And yeah, that's why I love Shadowverse a lot, man. Back in the first game and this game here. But yeah, as for everything else here that I might have missed, I mean, I would say also this game here is very beginner friendly. They give you so many tutorials. Even when you start up the game, they do give you a nice tutorial. And also, if you want to practice on your own, you can go to the practice match, which I just did. That's what you guys saw earlier. And you can turn on this AI tips, which right now is in beta. But yeah, you turn that on right now. And let me go and select the deck over here. But yeah, you can have an AI assistant help you out on like how you should play your deck here. So here's us going to the match. And by the way, I love just the way you just instantly go to the match. Way better than the first game. And this over here would be the loading screen. Yeah, they'll just be staring at each other's eyes for a while. But here you go, man.
We have much to discuss.
Dude, I love the presentation in this game. So yeah, you would have this over here. That is your AI assistant. She'll tell you how to play your deck, which is really good for beginners in my opinion. So right now she's telling me to redraw these cards over here because they're way too high cost. Nice. But you're very helpful, man. I do love just how beginner friendly this game is.
Let us begin.
Yeah, we'll begin somewhere else because we're about to wrap things up here. Then yeah, she'll tell me to, play this card first and then like end my turn and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much,
I have
showing
much
just
to
how
learn.
great and beginner friendly this game is. But with how positive I am with this game so far, there's also the negatives, and I would say mostly negative, like according to Steam over here. So yeah, this is the big thing about this game in the news recently, where yeah, it is rated mostly negative, and I believe on Steam overall, like it is one of the most like mostly negative games that has been rated. And yeah, that's pretty crazy, man, to see. Never thought I would see that. And that is because of the game's economy here. So now let's get to the negatives of this game, which I've seen 2 points being brought up that might have led to those negative reviews. And the first one I kind of disagree with, and it is in relation to the price of pulling a single card pack. So the common currency in Shadowverse are the rupees. It's these gold coins over here, and back in Shadowverse 1, it would cost 100 rupees to pull a single card pack. And as you can see right now, if I were to use my rupees right now, I can pull up to 4 card packs, almost 5 because I'm 10 less. But in this game, they have changed it to where it would cost 500 now to pull a single card pack. And with my current amount, I'm like 10 short. I can't even pull 1. And at first glance, it does seem really bad, especially if you're just going from Shadowverse 1 to this game here, because it sounds like you need to work 5 times as harder to pull a single pack. But also, if you explore the game far enough, you might have noticed that you do earn way more rupees than the first game. For example, in your daily missions, which I have already completed, it won't show over here, but normally it would say stuff like play 5 spells or play 5 followers or win matches, and the rewards would actually be way more than the daily missions back in the first game, where in the first game it might give you like maybe 20 to 40 rupees. In this game, like I've seen up to like 70 and maybe even 100 or so rupees that they give you per daily mission. Not only that, they also give away vials, which are used to craft cards. And instead of having your chance at the card pack, you can just craft them instead. And yeah, I think it is not as bad as people say, but also like you can even earn, rupees, vials, and card packs in Shadowverse Park over here. Which, if you don't know Shadowverse Park, it is this digital space. Just imagine like a card shop, but in digital form, and you can like duel other players. But yeah, you can like participate in activities here where you can get these keys for this one chest here, and you can open it. And for the most part, you do get cosmetics, at least from my experience, but you can also have a chance to get rupees, vials, and card packs. So yeah, there are like more ways to get, you know, ways to get cards, and also they do give you more compared to the first game. So in my opinion, it is not as bad as people make it out to be, just because, you know, they've also thought about increasing the ways you can earn rupees and all that stuff. Now, as for my thoughts on the second negative point that I've been seeing going around, I do kind of agree with it, just because it seems like it is worse than the first game, and that is the liquefy mechanic, or the dust mechanic from other card games. And if you don't know what that is, pretty much you can destroy your own cards to get vials back. And like I said before, vials are used to create cards of your choosing. So for example, in most card games, you can have a maximum of 3 copies of a card per deck. So with my collection of Stormy Blast over here, it doesn't make sense for me to keep 3 extra copies of a card that I cannot add to my deck. So to make use of them, I can liquefy them, meaning destroy them, removing 1 copy of them to get 10 vials back. And let's say I overdid it, I liquefy 4 instead of 3, that means I got 2 copies of a card when I want 3 copies of it. I can then make it back by using this button here, create, and it uses 50 vials to make a copy of a bronze card. And yeah, a bronze card costs 50, whereas other rarities, it will cost even more, with bronze being the lowest of the low. And so if you go to like a silver here, using Beryl Nightmare Incarnate, creating a silver card is 90, but if you liquefy it, you do get 20 back, which is a 10 vial difference from bronze. Now, I think this is where I first saw that it is worse from the first game, because if my memory serves me correctly, then in the first game, when you liquefy a silver card, you get 50 vials back, whereas in this game, it is 20, so you're kind of like missing out on 30 vials every time you liquefy a silver card. But I think also it is different for gold cards as well. I saw this over here with Mukon, the Shadow Crypt Ward, where in this game, when you liquefy, you obtain 200, but I think back in Shadowverse 1 for a gold card here, you gain 250. So yeah, that's just on the top of my head, but I do think it is lower than the first game. I'm not sure about bronze and legendary. I think they're around the same, but I noticed that with the silver and gold cards here. But yeah, that's just one downside, the one downgrade from the first game. I think the bigger downgrade would be the choice to liquefy, because unless you have a 4th copy, you cannot liquefy a card. So for example, I have exactly 3 copies of Erin, Crystallian, Frostward, but because I don't have a 4th copy, I can't liquefy it, which kind of removes the choice of like, if I want to keep the card or not, you know, removes that sense of like freedom. But if I have a 4th copy, like with my Snowman army over here, I can then liquefy the cards here. So yeah, that kind of sucks. You need a 4th copy of a card to start liquefying the copies of it. In my opinion, I wish they didn't have that at the very least. Like, I guess for me, you know, maybe you can keep the vial amount being downgraded, but I wish you can still liquefy the cards if, you know, you don't plan on using them. But let's say for some reason, I don't want to have my Dragoncraft cards anymore just because Galen is annoying me with his Kung Fu and all that stuff in the battles. And so to get back at him, I'll just liquefy all the cards here, but I can't because I have only, you know, 1 copy of the normal Fan of Otohime and 1 of the animated one, which is a total of 2. And so yeah, I just can't liquefy at all because I have a total of 2 copies of this card here. So yeah, it does suck. But yeah, I would say that one is more understandable than the whole rupee situation, in my opinion. So those are 2 negative points that I've been seeing going around I'm not sure if there's even more or not. It's just what I've been seeing with those two. As for my own personal cons for this game, I mean, some smaller ones I would say is some parts in the story where, for the most part in the story, I do love. I think it's really done very well. A big upgrade from the first game on the way it is presented with the voices, the visuals, the sounds, and all that stuff. A big upgrade from the first game. But there's this one part in the story that I'm not sure that I like. Whether I like it or not, I'm not sure which one I I feel about it. I guess the most I will say to make it, spoiler free, is that there is one depiction of a character that I think in general it sounds cool, but I'm not sure if I like the execution of it just because I prefer a different depiction of that character. But yeah, that's the most I will say. Maybe it'll be better as the story goes on because right now we're just at the beginning over here. But yeah, those were just small things that I dislike. The bigger things that I dislike is some of the performance and bugs where when it comes to the bugs, during a live stream, my second live stream for this game, at some points in the ranked matches here, I encountered a bug where the background music would just stop playing, and that happened for 2 matches, so I decided to restart the game and it came back. But yeah, it was kind of weird just having no background music, only like a few sound effects and stuff. And also with Shadowverse Park here, one time during multiple takes of this video here, I went to this menu and there was like nothing being shown over here with these selections, just the background art. And it still works though, you just press the middle to go to the Shadowverse Park and it is there. Also, another thing too in Shadowverse Park, the performance can be kind of bad. I guess if you're recording like me, then it's kind of bad. But it's not that bad, I would say. Sometimes I would see people like fly around though, like in the air. But yeah, something very small. I don't think those are that bad. Yeah, I would say the bad stuff for me, for the most part, are really small. I think the positives outweighs the negatives for me in this game. But yeah, those are my first impressions of Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. I think this game, I love this way more than the first Shadowverse game, and I can't wait to see what they bring out in the future. Like, I'm not sure if they'll expand the park over here. There's a floating guy over there. Very cool. And yeah, I just can't wait to see the future, man, because I love Shadowverse. It is my favorite card game. And yeah, I just want to see more of this game, man. Can't wait to see what it's like in the future. And yeah, this game also, if you couldn't tell, it is going to be the main game that I will feature on this channel. I will play other games too, but Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, that's going to be my main game here. I just love it so much. Like I said, my favorite card game and one of my favorite games in general as well. So yeah, that's just like one guy's opinion though. I would love to hear yours in the comments down below. If you like it or dislike it, love or to hate it, let me know down in the comments below with this game over here. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully it was somewhat insightful as someone that is a casual player and not a competitive player. I can't tell you guys on like the meta or how the cards feel and stuff. I mean, they feel fun to me in general. They feel good to me. And that guy's like super jumping, jeez. Yeah. Anyways, I'll just go ahead and end it here because I'm just yapping at the end over here. Yeah, I look forward to my future Shadowverse content, and I'll see you next time. So, yeah, that'll be for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good